Hey everybody, Dr. Ben Atkins here. I hope that you were doing good today. If you can hear my voice coming through loud and clear, do me a real quick favor, jump into the chat, say hello. Let me know that you can hear me coming through loud and clear, and you can see my ugly mug on your screen right now. Good. I hope that you all are doing good. I am ecstatic to be back with you this week. We only got one session together last week, and I hate it. I'm a little bit of a nerd for getting to hang out with you guys and talk about this stuff, and so I've gotten to talk to a lot of you a lot the last little bit, but not specifically on Roost stuff. And so I want to get back in here and rock it out with you today. And I love this mastermind. I love what we're doing with Roost. I love how we're changing the world. And I love seeing your results and what you guys are going out and getting. So keep it up, keep moving, and we'll keep doing all the things we're doing. So a couple key things I want to get into here. I like being super transparent with you guys and like letting you know everything that's going on. We are a little bit behind on some of the features that we wanted to get out because of things going on in the world. And one of our developers, one of our core developers, had some stuff go on yesterday with an election in his country, and the government shut the internet off. So, more important than anything, we're worried about him and making sure he's safe because there's lots of protests going on. I wanted to let you guys know that that's one of our roosters. It's our developer team. You guys don't know this person at all, but it's somebody that when you guys come to us with a feature, he is one of the main reasons that the features get in place, and he's part of our family. And so I wanted to get that across to you guys that there's the delete feature that we've been working on for you guys. I know small things here and there. There's a lot of things that have been going on in the background. I wanted you guys to know what was going on, and do me a favor, send some good vibes his way. Even though you don't know him, send some good vibes his way. It's Alexi, and Alexi's amazing. He, like I said, he's a big part of the Roost family, and wanted you guys to know that there's a couple updates that we've got coming that are a day or two behind because of that. That's part of our weekly state of the app. I like being very upfront with you with what's going on. Maybe a little bit too upfront with you guys. I don't know that everybody wants to know about all the stuff that's going on, but like I said, when something's happening to someone in our family, I like you all to know about it. So that's super duper important to me that you guys understand that. And yeah, just so you guys know what's happening. So we got lots of cool stuff happening in the background, lots of features. We're continuing to work on the new UI as well as some upgraded features for you guys down the road. My goal is every single week we have progress both from a marketing side and how you guys use this, but also a side of how the app is becoming more of a money-making tool for you guys. How many of you have noticed the last few days that we've been real busy with other platforms building those out too? How many of you have picked up on that? The reason being is any of you guys that want to do restaurants and stuff like that, we had something that Roost was not the perfect fit for it, and I had something that was the perfect fit for it, and so we wanted to make sure we had that. These two tools combined really help you run the gambit and really help you have everything you possibly need to do some amazing things. And so when I want you guys to understand something, when I don't think a tool is perfectly suited for something, I'll tell you, and I'll give you the alternative one way or the other. And so that's it. I'm going to bore you next week with something else, and I just want to be completely upfront with it. Next week, many of you have been asking me for 3 years now, 2-3 years now, about a social posting tool. We're releasing our social posting tool next week. And so that'll be coming out. And for those of you that have been looking for something to replace the things that you don't think are as good, I'm very happy with what we've got. And so I'll tell you more about that soon. But just so you know what's going on in my world, what I'm trying to create for you guys is tools that do the job the best that they can possibly do the job, but put you in a position to where you can make a lot of money by spending a little bit of money monthly with us. And that's the key. How can you make a lot of money every month with different avenues, spending a little bit of money with us? And that's what I want to get across to you guys. That's what we're after. And so I want you guys to understand, none of those other tools pull me away from our core purpose here. Those tools are designed to help strengthen this core purpose and give you more things that you can go and make money with while you're out doing the things you're already doing. Does that make sense? I don't ever want anybody to think that I am. I had a whole distracted period in my life. I'm over that. I'm very focused on how do we do one thing really, really well, and when we need something else, how do we build a tool that does those things really well too? So all those things said, I just wanted you guys to know that, and that's what's happening in my world. we're continuing in the background to update Roost to make sure it does everything that it needs to do for you guys. Keep sending me in your requests. I don't want anybody to ever think those requests get ignored. We just have we have priorities, and we're getting to things as they come so that you guys have a much stronger platform every single week. So all that said, that's the kind of the update of the app for you guys so that you've got it. Getting into this next thing is this. You guys probably noticed that I didn't do a Rooster Booster yesterday, and it's because I've started to notice that we get a lot bigger attendance on these calls than we do when we actually put the Rooster Booster in there. But if you guys like that the Rooster Booster is in the Facebook group and it's there when you want it, I know some people watch it later. Would you just rather me keep doing the Rooster Booster there? I wanted to ask your opinion on it, and then I'll get to the actual Rooster Booster. What do you guys want? Would you rather I just leave it in the Facebook group for you and do the live there, but also leave it there? Or how do you like that? Give me some feedback. Some people don't care. A lot of people are like, well, I guess what I was saying is, do you want me to move the Rooster Booster into this call or put it in Facebook? Facebook, okay. Most people are digging Facebook, so we'll do Facebook. I'll make sure I put it back in Facebook. We'll keep it there. I like that opinion. I think that getting to see some faces is sometimes a really, really good thing too. So I'll make sure we do that. The Rooster Booster will be there from now on, and we'll try to make sure we get it scheduled for every Monday for you guys. If not Monday, it'll be Tuesday, but I'm going to try to make sure it's there every single Monday. So it's a nice way to wake up and get your week started. And I think that's important. So we'll do that. We'll make sure we do it. I just wanted your opinion. This week, I want to tell you something. And I want you guys, I got some homework for you. And I want you to listen to something for me. There's a podcast that I listen to called How I Built This with Guy Raz. It's an NPR podcast. How many of you have ever heard of that before? Who's ever heard of that podcast before? Okay, so if you have, cool. If you haven't, I want you to go listen to it. And there's a lot of lessons that I picked up from this podcast in the last little bit that are super important. And I want to get these across to you as part of our Rooster Booster this week. And I want you to go listen to at least one episode of this podcast. I've got a few that I would highly recommend that you go listen to the actual episodes. But yeah, can you post the name of the podcast here? It's called How I Built This, and we can type it in the chat. So How I Built This, and it's from NPR. So I'll make sure we get it typed in here. For some reason, GoToWebinar does not like me typing into the chat box anymore. So How I Built This, I'll get it across to you guys. And so How I Built This, we got it in there. So How I Built This, it's from a guy Raz, but if you type How I Built This, it's from NPR. You guys will be able to go check this out. Now, I have one or two that I actually want to put in front of you guys because I think this is actually interesting. And I always really get into things that are sort of in my world, but I think it's always interesting to see how other people are building their businesses, and it's sort of behind the scenes with what they're doing here. So what I want you to go listen to is, I want you to jump in, and a particular episode I want you to start with, if you don't mind, is jump in and listen to this one in particular. Let me pull it up so that I've actually got it in front of me, and I'll try to post a picture in the group too so that you guys have got this. But go listen to the one it's a very recent one, and it is from, let me see, I want to make sure I get this name right so that you've got it. And what they've been doing lately is they've been putting on all these How I Built Resilience in here. So I can't find the name for some reason. It was the one I was just listening to. And of course, the second that I want to pull it up and give you guys the exact name, I cannot do it. So we've got a link from Rob. Ashton, can you grab that link from Rob so people have a direct link to that? And I want to make sure, it's because it's not in my library. That's what it is. So I'll get this. What I want you guys to go listen to is pick out any of these because they're all really, really good. But a couple recent ones that I listened to that I thought were absolutely good is I listened to the one from Vita Coco, which is a coconut water. And I listened to The Laundress with Lindsay Boyd. And the core thing that I want to get across to you guys out of this, and you'll hear this when you go listen to this, but the core thing that I want to get across to you all is this. It's when you are building something, you are going to have every obstacle in the world come at you. Every single obstacle in the world come at you. And when you listen to these things, what I want you to understand is all of a sudden, when you listen to these, How I Built This from these people, you are going to understand that these people have dealt with an incredible amount. an incredible amount of stuff that they got through, and you will not believe what they went through to get where they are today. And when you listen to it, you're going to think, oh my gosh, the stuff that I'm going through, it's very similar to this. But sometimes I listen to it and I'm like, I don't know that I would have kept going through what those people went through. And they sold their company for, $1 billion or $500 million. But like the amount of effort that they had to put in with the odds in their face is absolutely unreal. And I want you to listen to a few of these. Listen to one or two, and I want you to dig in, and I want you guys to understand, as you're going through stuff right now where sometimes it feels like nobody's interested in what you're doing, the world's against you, and you're having a bad week because none of your leads are responding to you that week. It happens. You guys ever think I've had a week where none of my leads responded to me? Anybody ever think I've had a week where like literally nobody responded to me? Nobody put their info. It happens. It happens. As you continue to build the pipeline, though, that starts to go away because all of these things, all the follow-ups start to matter more. I want you guys to understand, if you really believe in what you're doing and you really believe in helping people, you're going to have the weeks where you feel like everything is stacked against you. And you've got to understand that there are other people out there, because it's a very lonely feeling. How many of you, as an entrepreneur, and you're going on your journey, how many of you have ever felt a little bit lonely? How many of you have ever felt like the world is a little bit against you and what you're doing isn't any good and what you're trying to build isn't great? Yeah. And what I want you guys to understand is this. What I want you guys to understand is this. What we are doing is fundamentally a lonely thing. And in any point where you can look around with other people that are doing what you're doing and see that they go through similar things, especially when you see someone that's going through something similar, but you see them come out on the other side better, it helps. It's therapeutic. And so I was sitting in my car the last couple of weeks and I was listening to this podcast and I thought of you guys and I thought, you know what? I know how I feel sometimes when I have a bad day, when I have a bad week, and those things happen. I'm not having the best day today on a couple of sides of my business. Now, being here is a plus, but there's a couple things in my business today that aren't going the way that I want them to go. There's a lot of things in my business that are really going the way that I want them to go today, as you can imagine. But there's a couple things, and I want you guys to understand. I think sometimes people get in here and listen to me and they think everything is rosy all the time. No, it's not. It's just the thing that you guys got to understand is when I look around, I understand that I'm not alone. There are other entrepreneurs that have had that same loneliness. They've had that same feeling of what they're doing isn't enough. And they've had the world not believing in what they're doing at a time until the world finally came around and caught up with them. Okay? And so what I want you guys to understand is this. People are going to get mad at you. People are not going to believe in what you do. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have bad weeks. But what gets you through is a couple things. Number one, you got to believe in what you're after. You got to believe in what you're after, both on a personal level, plus with how you're going to make a dent in the world and how your product makes that dent in the world. But on the other side of it too is you're not alone. And every single one of you, you have me at your back. I know you don't believe this because I'm right here talking to a lot of you at once, and this is our relationship most of the time. I cannot tell you how many private phone calls I've been on with people that have been a part of a mastermind with me. They just reached out and said, Atkins, I'm in a weird spot right now, and I just need somebody to talk to. Understand that's here for each and every one of you on a very human level. I want you guys to understand that you're not alone. I put this podcast in front of you because it's something that's been very therapeutic for me, not just because it's inspiring, because these are people that are building big things, but listening to the pure level of shit that they had to crawl through to get to where they wanted to go. It helps me understand that everything that I go through, the ups and the downs, it's all worth it. And everybody has difficult things. Everybody walks into things with best intentions that don't always go well. And I want you guys to know that. And that's today's Rooster Booster. I wanted to make sure that you guys had that podcast. If you dig it, cool. If you don't, like I said, I'm not much of a weekly podcast person, but now this is a podcast that I listen to every single week religiously in between work. And the reason I listen to it is because it makes me understand that, listen, there are bad days, there are bad weeks, but if you really believe in what you're doing, you believe in what you are bringing to the world, the world will catch up with you. And when they do, your business explodes. In the meantime, it's grinding. How many of you feel like right now you are grinding? You're grinding it out. You're pushing and you're doing everything you can. And listen, I respect the grind because I'm a grinder too. I'm a bootstrapper, and I want you guys to understand with every business, and this is the last thing I'll say before we get into today's topic. With every single business, there's waves. There's waves. And sometimes you feel like when you're out there in the ocean, you're underneath the water a little bit and you're tired, you're having trouble swimming. Sometimes you're underneath the water trying to swim back up. And sometimes the wave comes, and the waves are rare, but when they come and the wave hits, you've got to ride that wave as hard as you can to get to where you want to go. And understand that the waves don't come often. So when it comes, you better be ready. How many of you right now with Roost, with everything that you're doing, with everything that you're building, feel like you're getting ready for the wave? Feel like you're just catching all the little things right now. You're catching all the little things right now. You're swimming. You're getting some little wins here and there. But when the wave comes, you're starting to get yourself ready that you can jump up on that wave and ride it. That's where you're at. And for those of you that are not there yet and you've not seen a wave hit before, understand that there are waves. And when a wave comes, the only thing you have to have is to be prepared. And what I'm trying to make sure that I do is make sure that you get small wins, make sure you can swim, make sure you can get customers in here. But when the wave hits and everything starts to align, you guys are ready to go. And you've got the skills you need, you've got the backing you need, and everything's there. That's what it's all about. So that's Rooster Booster for this week. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I wanted to get a little bit across to you. I don't ever want to position myself as perfect or that things don't go bad. They go bad. But you know what? Being an entrepreneur is about how you solve problems, not about just building businesses. Being an entrepreneur is problem solving, 100%. And if you want to be a true entrepreneur, that is what you have to accept. It's about problem solving so that when the wave comes, you can catch it and you can ride it as far as you want to go. Okay, so all that said, thank you guys. Like I said, I'll make sure we do these in the Facebook group. Week in, week out. We'll start making sure that we do that there. I was taken back and it, I almost teared up a little bit yesterday when I got tagged in the group and people were like, what happened to the Rooster Booster this week? And I realized that it's something that's important. And not that I didn't think it was important before, but the fact that you guys missed it and you let me know, that meant a lot to me. And I really appreciate that. So all that said, all right, let's get into it. You guys ready to talk about something different? Ready to talk about something a little different this week? I'm excited. So ball game is this. I don't want anybody in here to think that this amazing tool that we have with MeetRoost is just about running ads to it. I hope that many of you have started to see the utility of the tool in spots that you may never have thought of before. Okay? And the idea is this. Everything that I've been going through with you so far is how you make $1,000 a month with a client by running ads, by driving leads to them. But I want to give you another way to make money with Roosh this week. And the reason that I pick photography this week is like some of you are like, do photographers really have that much money to spend? Can they spend $1,000 a month? No, probably not. Most of them, not the ones that need this the most. But what I want to give you is I want to give you a tool and a mindset as to how you can use MeetRoost to get some small wins that are recurring monthly that are very, very useful for other people too. And so with this setup, what I'm going to be showing you this week is we're going to be going through a funnel for photographers, but I want you to understand this is how you can go in and make $100 a month, $50 a month, whatever you want to charge by setting up some photographers with something that can help them in a big way. But also, I want you to see the larger picture with this, and I want you to start using your imaginations, if you've not already started using them on this, how you can use this to set up clients that are paying you $50 a month, $100 a month too. Does everybody understand that? But it being more of a hands-off thing with you when you set this up. Does everybody sort of starting to understand where I'm going with this, and this is going to be different? Yeah? Good. And so that's what today is. Don't look at today as just that, a photographer thing. Make sure you look at today as something where we're going to be going through that. So all that said, let's dive in. Let's get started. No 10-second pause. We're going to leave everything in the recording today, and let's get into it. So first things first, how to get photography clients by offering what we call situational mini sessions. As a reminder, every single week, first, I'm going to do the entire presentation as if we were presenting to a potential client and selling them services my agency. Okay, if you're an agency owner, you can cut the last part out. And like I said, we're just going to cover the other stuff later. If you're a business owner, this is for yourself. That's good. Finally, if you have a question that isn't directly related to what I'm doing on the screen, send it to the support desk or wait for the open Q&A at the end so we get a solid recording. As always, I'll also explain how to edit the slide background or logo so that you can do this, you can build your own presentation with this. Okay, so just real quick, what we're covering in the next little bit, I'm going to go through all the 4 gears of this offer, the 10,000 foot overview, the offer, the lead capture process, the follow-up process, the internal upsell, how we're doing all of our stuff here. And then for us that are agency owners, I'm going to explain how to set this funnel up in MeetRoost so that you can rock it out. Okay, so one more thing. This isn't a paid ad, and I need to take "and" out and it be the right thing there, but it's not a paid ad-based funnel, the one I'm going to show you today. Could you do a paid ad-based funnel with photographers and charge them good money? Absolutely, you absolutely could. But how we get traffic with this, I'll show you on the ads call tomorrow. It's a little bit different, and it's more on the photographer to actually do this. You are building something for them that they can use as a tool, and then they get to use it as a tool however they see fit. Okay? Everybody understand? Give me a big yes in the box if this makes sense and you're ready to rock. Cool. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. What I'm going to do first on this next slide is, remember, I'm going into agency pitch mode. I'm going to be pitching to a photographer, and then I'll get into the actual specifics of cost and things like that. And as I said, think about this not just photographers, but for everybody. Anybody wants to go get some small wins to go with your big wins, start putting something like this in front of photographers, start putting it in front of all kinds of little businesses like this, a lot of independent type businesses like this that people need your opt-in pages and need follow-up. And so that's what this is about. All right, let's get into it. All right, so thanks for meeting with me today. I appreciate it. I just wanted to show you something that I think can be good for you that will help you grow your business and get you some big paying clients. And a lot of what we're seeing is a lot of the ways that you convey what you do and you help people with what they do and you get business through the door. It can be a struggle because there's no really good tools to get people into your funnel, get people into your life. And so what I want to show you is something that you can do, that you can share in your Facebook, that you can get people interested and booked. And then once you get them booked, you can get them booked for more expensive sessions and bigger sessions. And so what I want to show you today is how to get more photography clients by offering something we call situational mini sessions, which is something you already do. But what this does is this allows us to capture the leads in an interesting way. And then I'm going to show you the full walkthrough of how you turn that into full-blown clients paying you thousands of dollars. And so, what main thing that I want to ask you is, for like a wedding session, what is your price if you were to cover a wedding? Like what is that? And then, what's the response there? So, all right, cool. So let me kind of walk you through what I'm gonna do. First things first, I'm gonna give you sort of a 10,000 foot view of this. The second thing is we're gonna get into, okay, here's the offer that we put up front to get people interested for something small. So how do they decide, hey, I can pay for this, and they're not thinking about anything more, but this is a good deal, I'm gonna pay for it. What's the offer initially? From there, how do we capture the leads online, like Facebook, Instagram, things like that? How do we do that? Gear 3, how do we follow up with these people to make sure that they, book, we get everything in? And then finally, how do we upsell them so that they're not paying for something small from you, a little mini session, but they're actually paying for a full-blown thing? And so let's get into it. So first thing is just 10,000 foot overview of this. Okay, so this is sort of what we've got. What I'm going to show you is how to set up a full marketing plan to get more photography clients. Quite simply, it involves giving something at a discounted or free rate. In this particular case, we're going to be doing it at a discounted rate. Okay, now when people mess this up, they fail a ton. This could be bad if you mess this up, but I'm giving you a proven strategy that is going to work if you put it in action. Finally, this is designed to get a specific kind of photography client. Okay, not just anyone. We're after someone specific. So let me show you what we're doing so that you can get more people into your studio. You can get more clients. Let's walk through it. Okay, so this is sort of the thing. What we've got is we've got 4 pieces of this. We've got our gear 1, which is our offer. We've got gear 2, which is sort of how we're going to capture leads. Gear 3 is a follow-up process that's automated so that when someone goes through this process, you're not having to follow up 100%. We've got little things that remind them. And then we've got an internal upsell. How do you turn that main offer that's discounted into full-blown thousands of dollars session kind of thing? Okay, so that's the ballgame. I'm going to get into the specifics of all these in a sec. Okay. The goal is this. If you really want to get into it, the goal is simply this. We want to get them to schedule a mini session with you that will lead to a bigger session and then lots of other sessions over the next 5 to 10 years. We're setting up something that's going to pay you for a very, very, very long time. And it starts with them making a small micro commitment. And so let's get into it. All right, first thing, 1, the offer. What are we actually offering people? And this is big. And you know this from you're seeing it, but we're just building a system around this. How do you offer one of these little mini sessions that turns into bigger and better things? And so we get into gear 1. Who we're going to be targeting with this, because there's a lot of money to be made in it, is females 25 to 40. So females 25 to 40, I know you already target these people. I know I saw through your clients that you target these people, but females 25 to 40, that's who we're after. We're looking for people that are recently engaged. The cool thing about this is there is a ton of these folks all the time. It is a constantly new thing, recently engaged. That's who we're after. After that, we're going to offer a mini photo shoot to document a big moment, which is right after they got engaged. Where were they? What did they look like before the wedding? That's the ballgame. And then we're going to get into limited session and extras down the road. Okay, so let's get into it. All this sort of makes sense so far? Okay, good. So here we go. What are we actually doing here? So this is what we call the lead capture process. Think about when you post on Facebook, you got people messaging you. Some people won't message you because they don't want to, they feel like they're going too direct and they're not committed yet. You got people that are, trying to call you, text you. There's so many ways that it gets messy when you are putting out an offer on Facebook that, hey, you're doing these things, okay? And so what we want to do is we want to give people a more comfortable way to say, yeah, I want that. That sounds good. And so what you're going to be doing is this. You're going to be putting out a post on Facebook that leads to this page. And it just looks like this. It says, save the date with your favorite wedding photographer for an exclusive mini engagement session from Anderson Photography for $99. So you're going to do a mini engagement session with them for $100. Nothing over the top, nothing crazy, but $100 you're going to do that session with them. And what we're going to do is, and I'll show you later, but we're going to put out a Facebook post that says, hey, I've got 5 spots. I've got 5 spots or 3 spots, whatever works for you, but I've got 5 spots in the next couple of weeks for these mini engagement sessions. Okay, so these mini engagement sessions. So you're going to put out a post. You're going to very much keep this as scarcity. And then, in your post, just say tag someone who recently got engaged that might be interested in this. You're going to put that post out. From there, what we're going to do is we're going to send them to this page. You'll have a link to this page. People will go to this page. They'll put in their information, and that's when the magic starts to happen. Immediately, they're taken to a landing page, a thank you page. So landing page to thank you page, they're gone here. We're taking them to a place that says, this is what you need to do next, and this is the biggie. Step 1, call Anderson Photography, or it would be your photography, at this number. We can track that number. We'll know. When you get a call from this number, it's going to forward to you, and it'll tell you, hey, this is a lead that's coming in on this. Also, they have a code, save the date. And when they do that, they won't be charged your normal $350 session fee. They'll be charged $99. And so that establishes the value. But here's the big thing. If you call in the next 24 hours, we'll also throw 2 free 8x10 prints at no extra cost. So you're giving them an extra incentive to call you now. And we've got an active countdown timer that's going to take care of that. So you can see how we go from a simple Facebook post with some scarcity, and we keep ramping up the pressure to book it now. So that the idea here is they go through the funnel, but now they're presented with a reason that they actually need to get it on the books. Okay. And from there, we've got to, like I said, we market this with a Facebook ad, and your dynamic targeting is simply this. What we write in that Facebook post is going to get people to tag other people, but more importantly, it's going to really put up what a good deal this is. And the idea is you're trying to catch people right as they go through that process of needing something like this, and you're giving them a good deal to take it, okay? So from here, let's go through the follow-up process. Right away, we send out an email. They get an immediate email that says exactly what that thank you page says, and it's really stressing that they need to go in and make sure that they book this thing now. They also get an immediate text message with the phone number to call that goes directly to you as well. and says, hey, book this now. So they're getting plenty of reminders. They also get an email the next day that reminds them, hey, you need to actually claim this. So the idea is not only, instead of it being out there and they sign up and then like there's no follow-up right away, the key is that they're getting reminders. Also, the second that comes through, we're going to send you an email so that you can follow up with this person personally. You can call their phone and say, hey, I saw that you signed up for this. And it's really giving you an instant notification that, hey, this person is interested in what we're doing. Let's get it booked before they cool down, right? So that's the idea here. So here's where we make our money. This is why you do this. This is why you give a discounted session on something like this. It's because we're trying to get the wedding. We're trying to get the pictures with the kids down the road. And so what we're doing is this. When they do this mini session with you, you're going to give them an envelope with a deal. Okay, that deal is for a full wedding session, and you're going to put in some temporary pricing, something that sort of gives them an idea of what doing the wedding would actually be. And it's going to say, if you book it in the next 7 days, you're going to get it for this deal instead of what it would normally cost. And so it gives them incentive, it gives them countdown timer, and you tell them when you hand it to them, you're like, listen, just so you know, you can totally, we'd love to do your full wedding. If you don't have someone already, I think we can do an amazing job for you guys. I already have a sense of who you are and like what you're looking for after this session. And in this envelope, there's a deal. And like I said, if you book it in the next 7 days, then we're going to give you a discount on the total package, and I think you guys will love it. So just so you know, no pressure, but just wanted to put that in front of you. So that's what we do there. From there, after they do your wedding, what we try to do is we give them cards for their friends at the wedding for engagement sessions. Just because you're here, we do that. We also give you cards so that you can hand out to other people. By the way, if anybody comes back to us with those cards, then what happens is you get free stuff from me too. And so anybody that you refer to us, we're going to do free stuff. If we get to your wedding and to the point where we're doing your wedding, you get more free stuff for your wedding if you've given people those and they come back to us. So just so you know, after that, the key is we want to get them a testimonial. The second the wedding is over, they get back from the honeymoon, you want to get a testimonial from them. That's going to help you even further. So the next time we put this out there, you've got real people saying things if you don't have those already. So does that make sense? Does all that come together? What questions do you have? How'd I do? How'd I do? How'd I do? Like I said, we get to the what questions do you have part. We wait. We walk them through it. We go through this process. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? Now, the idea behind this is pretty simple. The idea behind this is pretty simple. What are you charging photographers to have this funnel put in place so that they can share it on their wall as a limited deal? No ads behind it unless they want to do it, but no ads. What are you charging? Typically, I charge around 40 to 60 bucks a month to set up one of these for a photographer, and they can use it anytime they want. We could also build different campaigns for them for their different mini sessions and make sure we set them up so that they've got a different page for every session. What does it cost you once you set up the business? What does it cost you to set up extra campaigns for that photographer one time? If you sit down with them and say, what campaigns do you want to do? It costs zero for you guys. And so the idea here is you set up a photographer, you're charging 40 to 60 a month. Now you've got an ongoing source of revenue, $40, $60 a month, that for that photographer, they've got a way to collect leads. They've got a machine. It's more valuable to them because now they've got something that they can share anytime that drives leads for them. And instead of you having to worry about ads, you've got something out there that's making you a small amount of monthly money, And this is for your startup photographers, by the way. You get into some of them that are a little bigger, you go $100, $200 a month. But does everybody understand now how you can use MeetRoost in a lot of different situations to be something a little different than the ad-based stuff, but you can still make money off of your MeetRoost account? Let me tell you, when you guys start upgrading your accounts from just the starter package, to the other stuff, does everybody see how this is big? So Rebecca says, Rebecca, I'll cover all of this tomorrow, my friend, in the traffic and ads call. Like, it's an ads call tomorrow, but I'll cover the traffic. I'll show you the exact post that they do, and I'll show you how this works without putting any ad money behind it. Does that make sense? Roger says this might fit hairdressers and salons too. They do a lot of small dollar purchases. Exactly. But is everybody starting to understand you have an entirely new way to make income for this, even if it's not a high dollar type client? You can still make monthly, and these still stack. They still pay the bills. And I want you guys to understand that we use Roost in a lot of different ways when it comes to booking appointment type stuff. And so I want you guys to understand setting something up like this, getting something like this is good. The other side of it is with photographers, I love having photographers as clients because that helps you turn other stuff into big things. Photographers will help our dental clients. Dental clients will help our photographers. And so you start building this cool network of things that you can put together. But does everybody understand, without the traffic part, which I'll cover tomorrow, do you understand how this funnel works, why it benefits the photographer, why a low monthly fee benefits you? Give me a yes in the box if this makes sense. Listen, I want you to get if you don't have your first client yet, I want you to get your first client. I want you to upgrade your Roost account so you have multiple businesses. I want you to go past that and go to the higher account so you have even more businesses. The reason I want those things to happen is because this is a recurring income machine for you guys, and not just when you're running ads. This is a recurring income machine when you just build landing pages for people, give them access to those pages where they can use them when they need to use them. All you have to do is show them how they need to use it, set them up, and set them going. And then you've got a recurring monthly thing that works for them all the time. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? Before I move on, how many of you feel like we opened up a new market for you? A new market for you? I hope so. I hope so. That's the idea, is don't limit yourself to just home run balls. Don't limit yourself to just hitting it out of the park with $1,000, $2,000 a month ads client. Make sure that you guys are open. When you go talk to businesses, when you're just hanging out with friends, this stuff is going to come up. This stuff is going to come up, and it's a big deal. Okay? They don't create their own account. You set up their account. You set up your Twilio for them. Get them rocking. Charge them a little bit per month. Simple. Base hits. Base hits. You still control the software. Everything's still you, but you set up their pages for them. You talk to them about the different mini sessions that they might do. You help them build out the funnels. You do that work one time, and then they're paying you monthly as long as they're using it. That's the key. That's the key. Also, get some free photographer work out of it. So, Steven, can I read that? Can I read that out loud, buddy? I think that's good. Steven says, I was a commercial photographer for a long time, and I also did portfolio shoots. I certainly would have gone with this. Thank you. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. And like I said, I want you guys to understand the value of what you can do with this, even if you're not trying to establish the big clients. You could build an entire business off having many clients come through. You set up once, you build their landing pages for you. They're good to go. Does everybody understand how difficult it is for most people to build something like this? If they're in our world, how long it takes to build this stuff and connect all the pieces if you're in our world. Imagine what it's like if you don't have the technical background, you don't have the people teaching you this kind of stuff. So building this stuff for them and then letting them use it, because remember, they get the notification. They get the notification. It's all attached to their stuff, and it works like a machine for them. Okay? Cool. So let's talk about how to set it up. You want to see it? Let's talk about how to set it up. Can everybody see Anderson Photography on your screen? Can everybody see Anderson Photography on your screen? Okay. So the idea here is we want something that looks kind of like this. Okay. And the way we've got this built out for you guys, it's extremely attractive right out of the gate. And it's something that looks good when it's shared on Facebook and someone clicks into it. Now, a couple key things here is when you go in and you build this funnel, you're going to go into new funnel. And I have something that I've already seen that I have to fix here that Ashton help me with this, and we'll fix it in the master for everybody. Ashton, let me just pull this up right now. Ashton, on the thank you page, earlier, and it may have just been in my account, that it said but wait twice, and so I'll have to look and see why that happened. So we'll get on to that, but remind me. So we go into this, we go into funnel settings, and what you're going to do is you're going to go down here, and you're going to go photographer, mini engagement session. And then, like I said, I just call this, mini engagement, so you get it shared to yours. And then we go in and we say, all right, mini engagement session, 350, whatever price is their price, 2 free 8x10, save the date. All that stuff's built in for you already if you wanted to use this exact campaign. We get into this. All of this is set up pretty much so that everything's out there. Save the date with your favorite wedding photographer with an exclusive. This is mini wedding session from whatever the photography place is for only 99 bucks. As long as they understand where you're leading them to after, that's it. On mobile, this will be the background photo that pops up here. This is, of course, the video that shows up on desktop. I want you guys to make sure that when you're doing this, you upload your own preview image. And so find yourself a preview image that works for you and that you can pop in there and it's good to go. So that all that's there. Past that, thank you page, pretty simple. We're just telling them, hey, use the call code when you schedule so that we've got, but wait, so that it actually did it this time. So I've got some bug in here, Ashton, that's causing this to do that. So we need to fix that in the master so that that's not happening. So that it should be just one, but wait, but we'll get that fixed for you guys before we get off the call in the master funnel so that that doesn't pop up. We've got our immediate email that's just walking them through, hey, book your mini session here. Hey, this is the business. From business name. So this is Mary Anderson from Anderson Photography. I just saw that you signed up. SMS is pretty much the same thing. We've got the business name, dial this number. You guys get the idea. And we've got the follow-up. You click and you save this to your account. And then we go into campaigns. And real quick with the campaign, just to show you how you set this up, obviously you hit add campaign here. But we go into this, you title it with however you're doing it. So what I tell them is I want to know where you want to save this. And if you're doing this on Instagram, I'll build you an Instagram one so you can track what's happening for you. Do you want to know how well Instagram is doing for you versus Facebook? We'll build you two of the exact same things. So you can put one on Instagram, you can put it on a Facebook. You can track these for them and you can call them and let them know. That's sort of your, hey, every so often I'll call you and let you know how it's going, or they can call you. We put it here, we pick the funnel, so the engagement session, engage 2020. So that's just going to be the short link. I want to email the business as we get into it. Obviously, when you set this business up, you want to make sure you get all of their details in here so that you've got that. Set them up with their own Twilio number so you've got that. And then, like I said, what ends up happening is this. Super easy, super basic. If you need to change anything like the price of all of that, when you build out this funnel, all you've got to do is actually come in here and fix this. Fix these prices, fix the, what's the session. If they wanted to do it for $199, you could change it to $199 here. There's not much to change if you run this offer, and it's good. But of course, you guys have unlimited flexibility with all the things that you can edit as we go through this. So does all that make sense? At least we'll get into the traffic stuff tomorrow, but does all that make sense to everybody? So far, so good of how we're building it, how it's in the system. And more importantly, the big concept I'm trying to get across to everybody right now is you don't have to close $1,000 to $5,000 a month ad clients to make money with what we're doing here. There's plenty of opportunities for you all to build extremely clever landing pages and funnels for people that they can just use at their own discretion without having to do all that. And that's the thing. You don't always have to dip your toe into the ads with people. You just have to give them the tools that do the job for them. Okay. And so with all that said, tomorrow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you guys through the particular ad that we do for this so that you can see how you would get this out into the wild without ad dollars behind it. Because I know Rebecca asked me about that and a couple other people asked me about that, but does that make sense? Cool. Cool. Okay. Roger says, check it again. These sessions are Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. Yes, Roger, I messed you up last week, buddy, because we just did a Wednesday call because I wanted to do the onboarding stuff. I hope that you guys have checked how many of you have checked the onboarding stuff from last week? Make sure you do. It's going to help you. So make sure you check that out. So, but yeah, I'm glad you checked on the times every week, Tuesday and Wednesday, we get to hang out. How'd I do? Did I get through it quick enough? Do you guys have what you need to go rock this out and get into some different stuff, make more money without having to, like I said, what I want you guys to have is a good balance. It's a good balance. I want you guys to have several $1,000 a month clients plus, right? Several like $1,000+ a month. But it's also a good idea to have some people that are just paying you 50 to $100 a month. And when you do that, Harry says, just got here. Could you start over? I love you, Harry. So the idea is when you do that, you've got a portfolio of clients that are paying you different rates. So if you ever lose one client, you're not hurting. And that's the thing. Don't ever make yourself so top heavy that losing one client hurts you in a big way. Does everybody understand that? And that's the big point I want to get across to everybody. As we build this, do you guys understand that if it's an appointment-based business, we can help almost anybody with MeetRoost? We can help anybody. If it's an appointment-based business, we can help people crush it with MeetRoost. If there's any sort of appointment or scheduling in there, it's absolutely big. But you've got to have some imagination as to not everybody is going to be our big ad clients, but you can make a fortune by stacking some of the smaller type things like this. And it's absolutely, absolutely huge. Okay. What questions do you have for me? Let's see what else we got. We got some questions coming in. Let's see. My guess is the ads are going to be similar to what we do with Pizza Money, right? I asked because I've already had an inquiry from a LinkedIn connection. What we do is we're going to actually offer them, Stephen, we're going to offer them, we're going to give them a post template, and we're going to say, post this around this time of night and tell people to do this, okay? Give people to do this. And when they do that post, and I'll show you all this tomorrow, when they do that kind of post, it's typically going to put them in a good spot as long as they couple some of their photos with it to show their work, okay? We charge setup on the landing page in Twilio. How do you charge for SMS? Are we charged by Twilio as SMS comes in? What I typically do, Nor, the cost on these are so low for SMS that I don't worry about it. I just build it into their fee just because they're not driving tons and tons of leads, right? It should be a few leads, but we keep track of it. And if I have somebody that's costing me a lot more, then we build it in that way, okay? Scott says, I have 10 small, low maintenance customers for every big fish. That's super smart. That's exactly the way you want to do it. Any other questions? Did I do a decent job? Does everybody understand and have a different way to do this? Good. Don says, you mentioned this method will also work for a salon. Is there a funnel template for a salon? Don, we actually had someone else mention that and I repeated it. But yeah, I would love to get you guys something built in for salons in the next little bit. I'll make sure we get that on the list for upcoming. I have several months planned out for you guys at this point, but I'll make sure we get that on the list and we'll keep going from there. Cool? Awesome. Awesome. Do me a favor today. Do me a favor today. I want you guys to do this. Jump into the Facebook group today and tell me something good that happened to you. That's something I want to know today. Just let me know something good that happened to you. Let me know what's happening. I know there's ups and downs for everything, but just tell me one positive note for something that happened to you today. And I want you to do something else. When you do that, tag somebody else in the group that you follow and just wish them well and tell them, you know, something nice. Like let's put some good energy into the group today. And I think that's a good thing. What else we got here? Actually, for several niches, we should be able to copy what you did here, but would help if you can give us some ideas for successful offers. I will definitely be doing that. So what I'm going to do, just to give you guys a roadmap, and you tell me if this roadmap works for you, what I'm going to try to start doing is flip-flopping between big ticket and smaller ticket type stuff so that you guys have a good mix and so that you don't get so top heavy with just big ticket clients. Does that help? Is that something that makes sense? I figure that's a good balance for the things that you can do with Roost, but I want to mix up our monthly stuff so that you get a good mix of all of that. And if, as long as you all agree, we'll make sure we do that. We'll make sure we do that. Okay. Cool. Cool. All right, guys, have a good rest of the day. I'll be back with you tomorrow. We're going to cover how we drive traffic to this exact funnel. In the meantime, jump into Facebook. You have any questions, you're running into any roadblocks, let me know. And definitely just tell me what's going on with you guys this week. Just tell me something good. If something bad's happening, tag me too. Let me help you get through it. I'm here. All right. Love you guys a ton. Be good. I'll see you in the Facebook group. Talk soon.